Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting members of Congress to be here to talk to you about this important event that you are having. We are in a fight for the most important thing, freedom. Freedom. And we are in the fight, and I can tell you, the three of us and other members of Congress, we are in the fight with you to continue to fight for freedom, because that is the most important thing any of us have in our soul, is the right to be free. The fact that many of you, so many people are here today, is proof that one day soon, we will see freedom and democracy in Iran, your original home. We will see it. The path to democracy is always long. It's always hard. But important things do take time. They are not easy. Have faith and hope that one day the people of Iran will be able to throw off the shackles of the supreme leader and become a nation committed to the rule of law and freedom for everybody. And that will happen soon. You've come a long way. I mean, there's Iranian dissidents and exiles, 2.5 million throughout the world. And I think we have all 2.5 million right here in this room, it seems like. For years, Iranian dissidents were stuck in Camp Ashraf. And then they were told they had to leave Camp Ashraf for their own safety, and they were sent to Camp Liberty. And when I was in Iraq, myself and other members, Dana Rohrabacher from California, we wanted to go see Camp Ashraf. We wanted to see what it was like, because we were hearing all kinds of things. And we knew there was something wrong with the government of Iraq when Maliki said, "You're not going to a Camp Ashraf." In fact, he tried to kick us out of the country when we wanted to go and see what was taking place for ourselves. The MEK was at the control of really Iran when they were in those two camps. And during that time, no one ever thought that the MEK would be delisted as a terrorist organization. We had to fight the State Department. We had to fight the mullahs in Iran. But I'm here to tell you today that was successful, and we were able to get the delisting of the MEK. Thank you. Thank you. There were, in the camps, countless attacks in Camp Ashraf and Camp Liberty. Rockets came in. Your friends and your family were murdered. And to this day, not one person has been held accountable for those crimes. Well, the day's coming when the murderers of the people in Camp Liberty and Camp Ashraf, when they committed those crimes, there's a day of reckoning. And someday they will be tried in a criminal court of justice for the crimes they committed against you. Your friends and family have not died in vain throughout the world, whether it's in Iran or other places, because the Iraqi criminals someday will go to jail. We all know who is behind these attacks. We know who was. It was the IRGC was behind all of these attacks. And I have introduced legislation in the House of Representatives to designate the IRGC as a terrorist entity. And we will get that done, I can assure you. The good folks, and some of them are here, who were in Camp Ashraf, Camp Liberty, and finally resettled out of the country, no one ever thought that would happen. We were fighting the State Department, we were fighting the United Nations, but it happened. And resettlement took place in Albania. And the plan was that the folks in the camps, when they would be resettled, they would be able, or they have to, or they're responsible for paying for their upkeep, so to speak, and their survival in Albania. And there was $500 million that the Iraqi government stole. And they have that money today. And I can tell you that we are working through our UN ambassador and the UN to get that money back from Iraq and send it to the folks who are in Albania today. Iran, I think Iran got a good deal. The world got a bad deal in the Iranian sanctions lifting, where they now can develop nuclear weapons. But we can overcome that, because I think before they get to the point where they actually have nuclear weapons, there's going to be a regime change in Iran led by the people of Iran in Iran to change that situation. 30 years ago, many of you over here, you millennials as I call you, you weren't even born. But the government, Khomeini, murdered 30,000 people that year because they were political dissidents. They wanted a regime change. 30,000. And here we are almost 30 years later. It's time to have a day of reckoning for those people that were murdered. And it is the responsibility of you young people over here to avenge the murder of those people, your families, 30 years ago. So I say to you, you daughters of democracy, you sons of liberty, do not give up, do not despair, because on the horizon, the sun is rising for a new Iran. And as the sun rises, it gets brighter and brighter, because hope is brighter for that feeling and thought and belief of freedom. Freedom in Iran. And so I encourage you young people and the young people of Iran, because it's always been the young people who have led the fight for freedom throughout history, and that is your responsibility. And to those young people in Iran, remember that. Take to the streets and make sure that the Ayatollah knows that you want a free and independent country and free elections. This Tuesday is an important day in our history in America. It's an important day in world history, because on July the 4th, we will celebrate Independence Day. Independence from tyranny. Independence from people telling us what to do. And so as we celebrate in the United States Independence Day, we will think about independence for Iran, so that they can be a free people. And the day is coming when the mullahs will reap what they have sown. They will be held accountable for their crimes. They will be tried in the international courts of justice. And the people of Iran will be free. Do not give up. Be strong and courageous. Be bold, because it's important. And that's just the way it is. Thank you very much.